Hi, I'm Stoney Stonebreaker of Passivo Real Estate Investments. Many people wonder about using the syndications for real estate investments. They wonder why. Well, today I'm going to answer that question, why we use syndications and why we think passive investors should use them as well. One of our missions at Passivo is to help our investors become better educated, better informed investors. And to that extent, we think that syndications are an excellent way to invest in passive real estate and become passive investors. Now, when I first started out investing, I was trying to find information, and back in the day, this is pre-internet days, it was hard to find information about real estate investing. But what I did find was a book by a man named William Nickerson. William Nickerson's book was titled, How I Turned $1,000 into $3 million in Real Estate in My Spare Time. And that kind of caught my eye. So I was working at a job and I wanted to invest in real estate. So I read his book and found out a lot of the advantages of real estate investing, from taxes and depreciation, income, and so forth. But my W-2 job kept me busy and I was enjoying it. So I didn't really get involved with real estate as much as I wanted to. Now, what William Nickerson suggested was starting small with a single family house, maybe a duplex or a quad, and building up from there. And I didn't have enough time even to do that with my W-2 job. Now, I know there's a lot of people who want to do some investing, but who are busy with either their businesses or their job, and they need to be a passive investor as well. So what we've discovered is that the world of syndications is an excellent way for passive investors to invest in real estate and get all kinds of advantages. Let me describe what a syndication is and why it's such an advantage for passive real estate investors. There's a number of advantages to real estate syndications, especially for passive investors. First, you can invest in real estate that otherwise may not be available to you with more limited funds. You can profit from commercial real estate advantages, from cash flow, from appreciation, tax advantages, equity buildup, numerous advantages of real estate. It's an inflation hedge, especially with multifamily, which is what we focus on. There are economies of scale with larger property. You reduce your risk with a larger tenant base. Your investments are protected by the real estate itself. You have an actual physical property that's behind that investment that you own a piece of. And you can be selective in choosing which real estate property to invest in. It's not like a real estate investment trust, which is a stock investment. This is actually, you can drive in front of the property and see the property that you own a piece of. As a limited partner, you have advantages beyond those I previously talked about. One is that you're completely passive. You don't have to deal with tenants, termites, and toilets as the operators do themselves. Secondly, you're an actual owner of the property. You can go buy that property, see it, and that property is something that you own a piece of. Thirdly, you're in partnership with real estate professionals who have done this before, who operate properties and manage them for a living. Now, the fourth advantage for limited partners is that it reduces your need to get into the nitty-gritty details of the property. You can depend on that sponsor to get into that and to know what to do when certain circumstances come up, so that you as a passive investor don't need to be as knowledgeable as you would if you were a direct active investor yourself. And finally, and one of the most important is, as a limited partner, you have no liability whatsoever with a property. And finally, there are a couple of disadvantages with a syndication investment like this for limited partners. One is that it's an illiquid investment. The investment period typically is from 3 to 5 years, 3 to 7 years, can be as long as 10 years, but that's spelled out in the documents up front that are required by the SEC that you will be able to read and understand the situation. The second disadvantage to a syndication for limited partners is that there are limited options to sell your ownership during the holding period of the property. Typically, sponsors will try to help you if you really have an emergency and need to get your funds out, but it's not guaranteed, and they have to find somebody else who will take your place in that syndication. So that's what syndications are all about. There's a lot of advantages to them, and we've just gone over them briefly, but we'll be writing more about that in the future. Well, thank you for watching this week. Hope this was helpful. For more information about investing in commercial real estate, visit PassivoREI.com and watch our posts online as well, and join our Passivo Investor Network for even more information.